Hey, it's show and tell. And what I have here is the U.S. Declaration of Independence. No, I didn't steal it from Washington. It's a replica, but it's a pretty good replica. And it allows us to look at the signatures. And right above Ben Franklin's signature is the signature of Dr. Benjamin Rush, who obviously was a supporter of the American Revolution. But he also allows us to take a glimpse into what medicine was like in those days. He was a believer in bloodletting. He was also a believer in purgatives. He would prescribe mercury chloride for virtually everything, because it was believed that if you eliminated blood or you eliminated whatever the contents of the stomach were, you'd get disease out of the patient. He was highly regarded. He even equipped Lewis and Clark on their expedition with his medicines, including mercury chloride. And believe it or not, today, it is still possible to know where Lewis and Clark had camped, where they had built their latrines, because there is mercury in the soil. This has been tested. And of course, they didn't have pure water in those days, so they drank water that could have had animal feces in it, etc. They suffered all kinds of problems, and they used mercury emetics. He was also interested in mental illness. Indeed, his profile is featured on the emblem of the American Psychiatric Association and is regarded as the father of American psychiatry. Not because he had correct ideas about how it was to be treated, but because he was the first one to try to investigate mental illness scientifically. He thought the problem was circulatory, and he devised all kinds of instruments like a spinning board or a chair in which the victim would be strapped in and spun around, hoping to improve circulation. This, of course, was nonsense, as was the idea of pouring water onto the mentally ill to rid them of their bad thoughts. But nevertheless, he did investigate it somewhat scientifically. He also investigated alcohol, and he was really the first one to suggest that people who loved alcohol and who couldn't help drinking it was because alcohol was addictive. Before that, it was believed that it was just a source of pleasure, and people were just indulging in it because they liked it and they could stop at any time. He was really the first one to say that that wasn't the case, that it was addictive. So Benjamin Rush was sort of a mixed bag of medical treatments, but he was a product of his time. And the Rush Medical School is today named after him. So it's sort of an interesting story of a medical doctor who signed the Declaration of Independence. And that for today is our show and tell.